Build it, Lord. Hey, you guys, how you guys are feeling? Hey, I hope you guys enjoying your day and having a good time out there and stuff like that. California's looking all nice. I got my little leather jacket looking smooth and stuff. I am LaDon in the house and everything. And you know, hey, if you like my video, share with the world. But anyways, hey man, today my topic is going to be about my homie Hot Rod, one of my best friends a long time ago and stuff like that. The story, man, of me and him and how we were homies and stuff like that, and what he went through and where is he at and all that. But anyways, what I want to tell you guys, appreciate you watching my show. But anyways, what I want to say today, I met my homie Hot Rod years ago. That's his nickname, you know. And I met him doing open mic a long time in a small town. And I was living in a small town and we were doing open mics, you know, and doing things that were fun and enjoying. He was singing, doing comedy and rapping, and man, we became good friends, you know. I was at the open mic doing my thing too. And we became good friends, and we used to go out and hang out and just be chilling. This was about 20 years ago, man. And we used to have fun. And Hot Rod, he cut hair. He was excellent at cutting hair, man. People loved when he was cutting hair and stuff like that. But the problem with Hot Rod was he was never there at his barbershop. Like, everybody wanted to come up there to see Hot Rod cut hair. You know, I went up there, but he was never there. You know, he was always chasing ladies and always running the streets. People loved when he cut hair, but he was just never at his barbershop. Even my uncle went up there and we were talking to him at Thanksgiving, and he was like, man, he's like, Hot Rod was telling to my uncle, like, hey man, you never come to my barbershop. He said, man, you never there. And that was funny because he's right. Everybody knew that Hot Rod was never there. The dude could cut up. He could line your hair the way you want. He was good. He had that razor blade, and he was bad at doing it and stuff like that. But me and Hot Rod were cool, man. Back in the days, man, we used to chase ladies, man. We used to go to the high desert down in San Bernardino and Pomona and in them places like that, and just go have a good time. And we just run up there and chase ladies, man. We were the coolest people. We was the coolest guy, man. And he had a house. It was a weird house. You know, everybody got a house, but his house was like, everybody's house is right next to the street. Like, you know, the street's right here, and his house was, you know, other people's homes are right by the street. His house was like you gotta go down a trail, like a 3-minute trail just to get to his house. His house was like way in the back, and he used to go down that little trail to see him. He'd be out there like just chilling and stuff. Hot Rod was the coolest cat, man. He was real cool, man. He didn't have that much money. You know, he didn't have that much money. I think he was getting some type of money from Social Security or something like that. But Hot Rod he was a cool cat, man. And we used to laugh and talk, you know. And Hot Rod, what he always wanted, he loved his son. I know he had a son. And his son I met his son, you know, he was a young age at the time, but he was cool too. And Hot Rod lived in this spooky home, man. It was just like the spookiest home. Like, at night, a lot of people wouldn't even come down that street. It was like a Freddy Krueger or something like that, like an M Street. It was like it was a little trail that go to his house, and you be going through it at night, like, oh, I don't know about this. But he'd keep his light on, and you'd be like, seeing his light on, but he kept that light off the porch, man. That house looking really spooky, man. And he had a big giant house, man. He didn't have nothing in it. He barely had nothing in it. You know, he was like a regular guy, and he didn't have no furniture. He really didn't have too much, man. But he was a cool dude. But he chased a lot of women. That's what he did. He chased women. He was very good My homie Hot Rod was excellent at getting women. And he always, man, I couldn't understand him. Like, he was just like good at getting women, man. Like, it was so smooth what he did, man. We used to go out partying and drinking and laughing. And me and him never had a fight. We really didn't have a disagreement. But he was cold when it come to them ladies. I'm telling you, he'll meet a girl and we all go out to a bar, a lounge, and he seen another girl. He would leave that girl sitting there at the table with me. And I would be like, why is he? And he'd be talking to another girl. I was amazed. Like, he brought a girl to the lounge or to a bar and he would leave her. Just walk away from her like, she ain't shit. I was like, how he do? And the girl be like, why he didn't leave me and stuff like that, Don? You know I like Hot Rod and everything. And I was just like, I don't know why he leave. And women used to be pissed at him, but he would talk to other women and he used to go up to women and get their numbers in front of them. And I was just like amazed by Hot Rod, how he did it. And you see the girl mad, but they loved Hot Rod. Hot Rod was the type of cat that even talking to her, he could walk outside with another girl, right? And the other girl that he came with be mad, but she's sitting there, but Don, don't take me home. I want to speak to Hot Rod. And Hot Rod used to leave with the other girl and have the girl stay with me. It was crazy what he did. His game was tight, man. Hot Rod game was tight. Hot Rod had one of the best games I could never see. And when he Mac, you didn't get to hear him Mac or nothing like that. You just knew he had a number and he had a girl coming home with him. It was just like amazing to see how he was. And he was cool, man. He was cool. And we would just have little parties and get together. I remember, man, we went to the club and we came back and we had the after hour party at his house. There was barely nobody there, but I remember he brought people over there and stuff like that. We were just dancing. He had a little haunted house, man. I don't think a lot of people liked it, his house, but in the morning it was cool, but at night nobody liked it, you know, but it was cool hanging out with Hot Rod. Hot Rod was one of my homies, man. Really the coolest homie on the planet. I remember we went out to a club. I was younger then, and my family had some food at their house, and I don't know. Me and him were talking like, man, let's get 15 girls to come to our place, or to your mama's house, or to your family's house. And I was just like, because during that time, no, it was my brother's house at the time, and he didn't care, you know. My brother, he's like, yeah, you can bring any woman you want. And I was like, all right, cool. And I remember me and him got together and we told all these girls at the club to come see us. There was 15 to 20 women came, man. And I remember they all came. It was like, how do we get all the women to come? I don't know. It might have been my looks, you know. I don't know if I'm a pretty boy, but a lot of women say that I'm handsome. So, I don't know. But he was good, but the girls stayed, they had a little drink and had some food, and they were like, we gotta go, and because it was just me and him, but we had like 20 women, and there was barely no homies, no guys came. We didn't invite the guys, we just like, shit, let's have 15 women. We would, but they all left and went home, but it was cool to get 15 women to come to your little party and stuff at the last minute. That was cool, man. Me and Hot Rod was the coolest friends, man. I remember when he borrowed like $100 from me. He borrowed $100 from me. And I thought he would never give it back. But when you give somebody, your homie, some money, 100, I didn't really care, man. I was like, whatever. He kept saying, I'm going to pay you back. I'm going to pay you back. And he was up in LA one day, and I ain't talked to him in years. And he just saw me like going into a library. No, it was in his hometown, in a small town. And I was going into the library. I was visiting from LA, and he was like, Don, here's $100. So he gave me $100. He was like, here you go. I was like, what? He was like the coolest homie that you could meet, man. We did a lot, man. We just traveled. We had fun. Me and Hot Rod went on party buses. We used to just have fun, man. And I used to have my car. He didn't have no car. He didn't have no car, man. He had no car. He used to jump in my car and see, I was a little hustler then. I didn't have no job because during that time, that's when a lot of people lost their job. It was like 20 years ago. I think it was back then when everybody lost their job. That was like 20 years ago. That's when he was gonna be on unemployment for like 3 years. I remember that, or 2 years back then. But now you only can be on it for 6 months. So, you up there. You didn't get you a job then. But back then was some good old days, man. And I met Hot Rod, man. We used to just hang out and just have fun. We had fun, man. And see, I was a little hustler back then. I didn't have a job. I didn't have no money. So like I wanted a haircut or I want to get into the club or something. He told me, LaDon, hey man, hey, can you drive me? I'll go with you and hang out with you, man. And he used to give me a haircut for free because I used to drive him down the hill. We used to just go have fun and everything. And he used to give me he'd be like, Don, don't worry about it, man. I know you ain't got no money, but I'll give you $5. Back then I have no money, Back then I had to borrow money from my mom. Like, Mom, my mom used to give me some money when I was young. I'm not ashamed, But I had to do what I had to do. And my friend too, he didn't give me no money. My other homie, he didn't give me no money. He worked me. He'd be like, Don, you want $20, $30, you got to come out here and rake these leaves and dig up, chop down trees. My other homie, man, he used to work me to death for that money. But, ask my mom for $5 or $10, but I had to do what I had to do. But I was out there making things happen. And I was like a little taxi back then. Everybody knew me because they were like, Don got the car, And I had the car, and that's how I hustled, That's how I hustled. Like, I had my little car, and I had my car, and they'd be like, one of my homegirls be like, LaDon, let's go. Hey, take me to the grocery store. And I would take them to the grocery store, and they would pay me for gas, and I used that to go out and have fun that night. That's how I hustle. I hustle with my car. I was like a little taxi. I know they got Ubers now, but back then I was like an Uber driver. But I'm not an Uber driver, but it was something. I know I'm not an Uber driver, but back then there was no Uber drivers. It was just I had my own car, so I picked up people and did what I had to do, But Hot Rod was the coolest, man. And and me and Hot Rod, so what happened was, man, I moved from that small town I used to live in the desert. And it was back then, small towns, Barstow and all that stuff, and Victorville and Hesperia and all them places, but it was little small towns, and I had to move, man. I wanted better. I wanted better in life, y'all. I wanted better. And I met his brother, and his brother came up to me and said the most deepest words that I can ever dream. His brother was older than him, and he said something to me that hit me to this day, and I still live this way. He said the deepest words to me, and it hit me. It was like other words hit me, but this word really hit me when I was going through the struggle and making things hustle, make things go, hustle to, drive my car and drive people around, make money. So what I did was, his brother said to me, you can live comfortably and not go nowhere, or not live comfortably and go somewhere. So what that's saying is, when I was living with my mom at the time, I was living good, man. I had the food. I had my little room in the back. I had the TV. And I didn't have no money, but I was with family. I was enjoying that little small town that I live in, but I wanted more in life. I wanted my dreams to happen. I wanted to see more. I'm a Pisces, so I wanted to venture off and see the world. And I was living comfortably. My mom and them, we ate good, and I didn't have no job, but we lived good. But I was not going nowhere. I wasn't. I was in that small town trying to make it. And later on in life, I moved in with my uncle, and I slept on the floor with the roaches and barely had no food, and I had to go to the. So I remember I was so broke, man. I used to go to the store just to get top ramen, man. just top ramen, nothing else, y'all. Nothing else. That 10 cents, that top ramen made me get through, and them 99 cents hot dogs, yeah, that helped me out a lot. But I was poor back there, but man, I was sleeping on the floor and I was struggling. But look at how I'm out today, man. I'm got my own place and own car and living my life and enjoying my life, looking good, smelling good, you know. And I learned that you gotta go through something to get something, and that's what I learned from his brother, you know. So when you don't live comfortably and you aiming for something better, man, you gotta go through it, and that's what I learned, man, and stuff like that. But what I want to say to you guys, during that time, I moved to LA and I started ending my life. He called me here and there. We talked and stuff, but I lost contact of him. And, you know, he always moved from different places because he lost his home. And he moved from different places. It was hard to find him. And we found him, me and my homie, one day. He was walking. And we seen him. He said, "Hey, man, let's go out." And he was acting all weird and, you know, like, "Yeah, Don, we'll go out," and everything. And me and my other homie picked him up from the house, and he was getting dressed. He was getting dressed, and then he had put on these, like, he was not looking sharp, man. He had some big old pants on, and his shoes were dirty, and his collar, he didn't iron his shirt. He didn't even comb his hair, and I was just like, what's wrong, what's wrong, Hot Rod? And Hot Rod said, "Oh man, there ain't nothing wrong with me. I'm cool, man." He said, "Man, you know, man, I wish you was down here, man. We had a good time and stuff, but I know you had to move on and all that." I said, "Yeah, I had to move on," but he was like, "Man, let's go out." So I went out with him, and he was just not looking smooth no more, and he was not really talking to the ladies, and he just stood in the corner, and I just didn't understand what was wrong with him and stuff like that, man. I didn't understand what's that. But what we did, and then too, my family loved it, Hot Rod. Hot Rod was the most coolest guy you can meet, man. My grandma, my mom, all my family liked it, Hot Rod. He was the most coolest, man. And Hot Rod I found out one day, people were telling me that he was begging for change on by the stores and stuff like that, and and I was just like, wow, he was just trying to make it and just trying to do what he had to do. But as my friend, I never really seen him beg for no change or nothing. I mean, not beg for no change, but people seen him off and on and stuff like that. And Hot Rod became he later on, I found out he was on drugs. He was on drugs, and he started hanging out with the wrong people, and I lost contact of him. He was in the streets, and I heard about him. People told me about him. He was around, but and all that. But fast forward, I lost contact of him, and one day I was at this hotel visiting my family, and he came out of nowhere. Like, "What's up, Don?" And he was just like, looked like he was homeless, and he didn't look who he was, and he was like, he asked me, like, he just, "Oh, Don, what's up with you?" and everything. And I felt bad for him, and I couldn't do nothing for my homie, and I ain't seen him in so years, so I knew that people told me he was on drugs, and I know there was no help for him or nothing like that. So I looked at him like, I gave him some money to help him out, and and I was gonna let him stay in my hotel, but at the time I had a girl, and I didn't want her to go through it, and I didn't know him that much. He was like 5 years later, he on drugs. I don't know what he gonna do, So I have to be careful with my safety. But I gave him some money, and he said it was cool to see you, LaDon. Talk to me a little bit and stuff. "Man, you still going to open mics?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm doing open mics." And he was just like, "Yeah," but he could sing and rap and do comedy, man. He was like that's what he loved doing. He loved doing all that stuff, but he chased the women the most. But But that's the last time I seen him. And they said he was in Vegas panhandling and money, and never seen my homie again, man. Never seen him again. And to this day, he was the coolest cat, man. When you lose somebody that you enjoyed and lived with during the times in a small town, and man, it's crazy to see somebody that you knew and you enjoyed, and you guys were road dogs and homies. You know, that's my dog, and you know, he fell on to being homeless, and he was doing drugs. I never seen what drugs he was doing, but I know he was on drugs and stuff. Like, he just looked like he was on drugs, and never seen him again. So I don't know where is he at. They said the last time he was in Vegas, but never seen him. And it been about the pandemic, 3 years, 5 years. I'd say about 7 years. It's the last time I seen him. Never seen him before again. But so what I want to say to you guys is that Hot Rod was the coolest. And if you got homies and friends you hanging out with, man, enjoy their company and have a blast. And sometimes in life, people are not going to express what they're going through, even if they're your friends, because they don't want to mess up that friendship that you have, or, you know, are they're not happy with their life, or, you know, they don't have that motivation like they did. And some people just like to keep secrets. And that was something that he kept from me, but I could see it that was happening, and you know, but he hung around with the wrong crowd. And man, be happy when you got somebody that you can enjoy and be friends with, you know, because you don't know when they're gonna leave out of your life, and remember the memories that they have, and enjoy them, because you know, I don't know what happened to him. It'd be cool to know where he's at, just to see what's up with him. But what can I do? You just have to move on. You know, drugs is not good for anybody. You know. I know a lot of people been on drugs, but when it touches at your house or you touch at your home, it's totally different when it happens to you. And appreciate my homie, you know. Still got love for him. Hot Rod, you know, might be out there. What's up, Hot Rod? Might be watching a video one day and see me. But he know who he is. He know who I am. I'm LaDon, so he'll definitely know who I am. But, you know, it is what it is. Appreciate your friends. So all the friends you have, man, be you. Don't never change for nobody. Who cares about what people think? And be true to yourself when your friends can be true to you. That's why I got so many friends, because I'm real. I tell the truth. And people are going through stuff, but your true homie's gonna tell you how they feel. They ain't gonna sugarcoat shit for you. They gonna look at you in your face and say, hey man, that's not good. Hey man, you shouldn't do that. Hey man, that's not right. But hey, sometimes in life you're gonna bump heads with your friends. Sometimes you're gonna have a blast with a friend. Sometimes you're gonna get mad at your friend. But always remember, that's still your friend. And you know, tell you the truth. Back in my days, I barely had friends. And I had to learn, when you love yourself, then you can enjoy others. But sometimes in life, God want to know, do you love yourself? When he can bring people around you that love their self too. And then y'all can be homies. You know? That's the homie. But as my road dog, and we had a blast, man. Anyways, man, I want to say to you guys out there, LaDon in the house. LaDon in the house. LaDon in the house. tell you the truth, you guys. I can't lie about my stories. I'm just gonna tell you the truth. Hey, you gonna judge me anyway. And who only one can judge me? Only God can judge me. Who said that? Tupac. Only God can judge me. Oh man, a good time with you guys. And later on, I'll be doing another video. Hey, peace, love, enjoy in your life. But anyways, I'm having a good day today. But what I want to say to you is